So we wanted to do a short video of our experience in Red Bay and everything you need to know about going to Red Bay. So first question, why you even go there? Well, first reason you go to Red Bay is because of Tiffin service, but you quickly find that there's a lot of other third-party vendors there. People who can work on your diesel chassis, your gas chassis, people who can do cabinet work, people who can do chassis work, hydraulics, mechanics, slides, windows. So that's really the primary reason you want to go there. We came to Red Bay because, oh, that's where Tiffins are made. So we bought a Tiffin, let's bring our Tiffin here. But what I found out when I got here was, actually, most of the services might be done by somebody that's not Tiffin. There's so many people that used to work for Tiffin that have started their own business and still can specialize in things. Yep. And I've seen buses that are not Tiffins. So is that kind of what's happened here? Is it's become a community to support the motorhomes?
It really has. And I think obviously it started with Tiffin.
Yeah. And
this area, the knowledge and expertise that is in this area over Tiffin starting here, I mean, all these people have been here for the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm Steve.
I'm Nancy, and together with
Mars the Blind Sheltie
and Phoebe the Warrior Princess, we are living our dream. Our goal, to travel the U.S. and Canada
while spreading the messages taught to us by our pets of
keep smiling, be kind,
and be happy. Join us on our travels by subscribing to our channel as we continue our great adventure. Give me a sense of some of the services that you think, examples that you see used a lot.
What is amazing is pretty much anything you can think of that you want done, personalized to your RV, can be done here. So if you want new cabinetry, that's an option. If you say, you know, I don't really want carpet anymore in here, they can put all LVT flooring in there and it looks beautiful.
We're thinking about that.
I mean, it goes down to the countertops, the backsplashes. You can get Corian and, you know, added, and you can fancy up your entrance area and put Corian down there and different things down there. There's all sorts of lighting, different lighting options you can do. And then as far as electronics, that's a little bit out of my category. I schedule it every day, but the electronics is amazing. What all they can do now with Starlink and some of the options that they have. And not only that, but I've had some vendors who will actually just take the time to show you what you do have. Hey, this is how this works. Because sometimes you buy an RV and you're like, I've not ever used this. I hear that a lot. I just need somebody to teach me, somebody that would just take the time to just show me. So I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. And really just, you know, even down to polishing countertops or adding lights on the outside, or there's so many things that can be done, whether it's from detailing to interior modifications and beyond maintenance, like you said.
Yeah. So there's quite a few upholsterers here, and
yes. So there's definitely a couple that are very, very skilled. They are busy, so that is one of the things that you have to remember, that you need to book ahead for those type things. But yeah, you've got upholstery. That was one of the things I missed. You can get a residential fridge instead of your actual, you know, regular RV one. We've had lots of washer dryer swap outs, bathroom renovations. I mean,
really?
Oh yeah, pretty much if you can think it. I actually had one recently. This one blew me away. Josh Stanley is one of the woodworkers. He recently built a desk, but not just any desk. This desk was amazing. It had awesome storage. It fit great. Looked like it was built directly into the RV. And they worked together with David Baggett to get a solid surface that would match everything. And on this solid surface top, there's actually a button that you press and it flips open in like a slot. And you know how you can have a televator on a TV? His computer did that.
Oh,
and so he has this personal desk where everything goes down and you can't even tell it's a desk. And then he presses a button and a screen pops up and he pulls out a tray for all of his stuff. It's amazing.
And what you'll find is you'll have quality work, but the cost of that work is significantly lower than if you go to the Northeast or Midwest.
Very much.
To have it worked on. So that's the big draw.
I found myself tipping a lot of the service people because as far as I was concerned, the quality of the work they were delivering for the rates that they charged, I was really, really happy with.
Yeah.
And just the craftsmanship here, you know, you do pay money for it.
Yeah.
But if you were to try to get this done elsewhere,
yeah.
it'd be way higher and it wouldn't be
Well,
as good.
this is something I found out. We're from the Northeast. And when we came here last year and had a lot of different work done. We had Cody from Custom Cabinets. We had other things done. The hourly rate was a lot less than it is in New England. So that's something I think about this. Some people think Red Bay is out of the way, but the hourly rate is really, for the quality that you get, is outstanding.
And on top of that, what I've run into a lot, not only is the hourly rate better, but if you were somewhere where you were from and you needed something done, it would be one of those things where it's going to take them more hours.
Yeah.
Because they don't do it every day, all day. They don't have that knowledge. So people are shocked when they come here and I set up these appointments for them and they're like, they fixed that in less than an hour.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things, you talk about the low rates in Red Bay, some of the friendliest people I've met. I mean, they're all very easygoing, but they're very knowledgeable. Don't underestimate their knowledge because I walked into one service center and they were talking about breeding coon dogs. It was hilarious. I love it. There's actually a coon dog cemetery we've been meaning to go to near there. But when they get to work, they know exactly what they're talking about. Matter of fact, those same technicians found a loose wire that I would have never been able to find because they knew exactly where to look for things that might have been causing the problems with our slides.
They have the experience.
Why is everybody so nice? I was originally from the South. I love the Southern. I come back and I say, yes, sir, no, ma'am, whatever. But I found everybody here is fairly low key. It's not high pressure. There's no high pressure cells. I've never heard that from anybody.
Nope.
It just sounds like a culture from here. Is that just a Southern
Well, I can
thing?
help you a little bit, but I grew up in Arizona. So you have to remember this is a culture shock for me. I moved when I was 13 and I didn't understand it either. I thought I would never want to live out in the middle of nowhere where the nearest Walmart is 30 minutes away. That is not okay.
Yeah.
And the more I lived here, the more I was like, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And honestly, I wouldn't want to raise a family anywhere else. It's amazing that people are kind. And I don't know if it's the small towns and, to be honest with you, a Christian atmosphere. There's tons of churches around. Most of who you talk to here go to church in some way or another. Just morally and character. And you're talking about honesty. And you don't have business people trying to rip you off or not do what they say they're going to do. Just overall a safe place where people trust each other.
Okay, a lot of people always ask, what do you do in Red Bay? It's this small town on the border of Alabama and Mississippi. Not much there. They do have a Piggly Wiggly. I was fortunate enough to see Bob Tiffin at the Piggly Wiggly. He goes there for lunch every day, they say. They have a Big Star.
Yep, big
grocery stores.
There's two grocery stores. Actually, there's a third one. No.
Oh, that's right. The DG, the Dollar General.
Pop Shelf is what it said. And it caught my attention, and I decided to check it out one day and found out it is a grocery store, albeit a
small,
slimmed down version of it.
There are other towns, Belmont, Mississippi, all is 6 miles away, 10 miles away, something like that. They've got grocery stores, restaurants.
To it.
Actually, we went there for service a couple of times.
Yeah. So, there are quite a number of people there that have different services, third-party services.
Oh, one thing I need to add about scheduling. You know, something I also found, people hear Red Bay, but we're in Belmont.
Yes, okay.
Right?
So we almost just consider ourselves Red Bay at this point.
It's like half the services come from Mississippi, or most of them,
We're kind of split, yes. Tiffin, the reason we call it that is because Tiffin is located in Red Bay. And so when people hear Tiffin, they automatically relate that. But we're literally less than 10 minutes from the state line. We're literally less than 10 minutes from Red Bay.
Well, I'm like 50 yards from the state line at the park I'm staying at in Red Bay.
Yep, I mean, it's that close. And, you know, it's kind of split. We've got about half of the businesses in Red Bay and half of the businesses in Belmont. and it's just easier. You know, I scare people when I say, I've got you staying in Belmont, Mississippi. They're like, wait, how far is that from Red Bay? And I'm like,
5
it's
minutes.
okay. I promise it's like 5 or 10 minutes. You're good.
Yeah, there's an
so
RV
very
park right
close.
next to you here.
Yes. So yes, lots of businesses in Belmont, Red Bay. You're talking about a 10-minute drive. And honestly, we have got good food here in Belmont.
I think that's right. I think there's better restaurants here.
I mean, I'm not trying to knock Red Bay. There is good food in Red Bay as well. Not trying to knock them.
But we found, you know, within an hour's drive, you can get to Tupelo.
Yes.
You want to go an hour and a half, you can get to Memphis. I mean, there's places around you can get to if you want to.
Yes.
For day trips. So like
Yes.
you're having your service worked on. One other thing about scheduling is if you do want to schedule third-party vendors and you're not quite sure who to contact, we found April with Happy Hosts, and she was really, really helpful. We just gave her a list of the things that we wanted to work on. She gave us a list of the vendors that she would recommend, and she helped schedule those vendors.
She didn't help, she did it.
She did it. That's
Don't
true.
say helped, she did it.
For a nominal fee, she was a great resource for us, and she had everything lined up by the time we got there.
It's so worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, we called her, let's see, no, first I emailed.
Yeah.
And then she called me and went through everything that we wanted. And then she came back with a list of vendors.
Yeah.
And she set up all the days, the times, the places, what we needed to do, what we needed to bring, if we needed to go,
Yep.
or drop it off, or come back, whatever. It was absolutely the most freeing
And
experience.
when one of the
because-
vendors we weren't able to contact to confirm, she was able to recontact and
yeah.
reconfirm, and some schedules got changed and she helped adjust that. So she was a great resource when we were there as well. And we got a chance to sit down and talk to April to get her views on Red Bay and everything about Red Bay. So she was really a font of knowledge. If you want anything and everything you need to know about Red Bay, April will know. So give me the elevator pitch on what Happy Host does.
So Happy Host, in a nutshell, is to help the customers come into our area and help them with their whole trip, with vendors, make it basically as easy and enjoyable for you as we possibly can.
So it's a single point of contact.
It is one place, you contact it, we handle everything for you. Literally my favorite part is when people tell me, all I did was show up.
Yeah.
I just showed up. All these people started coming to my motorhome and doing everything I wanted them to do, and they love it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can just call one place, and I love our vendors. That's another perk of Happy Host. I have really felt like I've developed a relationship with the vendors, and I love it. I love knowing them on more of a personal level, and we all help each other. It's a
nice.
great
Everyone I've met is
working
nice.
community, and they'll do favors for me, I'll do favors for them, and I feel like we can all kind of give to each other. But they can be a little difficult. Vendors, close your ears. They can be a little difficult to get a hold of sometimes. And it's not because they're intentionally doing it.
No, they're busy. They're working.
They're doing the work. They're trying to answer the calls. You know, they're just so in it.
Yeah.
And they also have real life too. I've had people who told me I was never going to come to Red Bay.
Oh, really?
I've had an RV I had one person tell me that they had an RV for 10 years, a Tiffin RV. And they never came to Red Bay. They lived far.
Because
they
the
lived
anxiety
in
of having to schedule everything.
Exactly. They said, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to go to. I'm out of warranty for Tiffin now. And I never had planned on coming. And they were all the way from California. And she thanked me because she said, thank you for making it possible for us to come. They felt comfortable coming because they knew that they could ask me what they needed. And I had everything set for them, and they had the most amazing experience. She couldn't get over how nice everybody was.
Same thing.
And how honest everybody was.
Yeah.
A vendor came and worked on her stuff, and they looked at something, and they said, honestly, it's just this. You don't really need my help. I'm not going to charge you anything. And she said the fact that they didn't charge me.
We had that happen to us too. But I will say one thing, is something about the work ethic here. Everybody wants to start at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Oh, some tidbits of advice. Bring a checkbook.
Oh yeah, instead of credit card.
Bring a checkbook. There are credit card fees everywhere you look. So bring a
I don't
checkbook
blame
or
small
cash.
businesses to charge extra for the credit cards because they get charged it.
Exactly. We
So
have to pay it one
yeah.
way or another, whether
Yeah.
you do or we do. It has to be
So
paid.
checkbook is better.
And a lot of them will accept electronic forms of payment.
Oh.
Venmo, PayPal,
Yeah.
Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay. Our businesses accept all of those.
Yeah.
Not every business does, but a lot of them will take like Venmo is probably the most popular.
Yeah.
PayPal and Zelle, I would say, are the top 3.
Okay.
So if you want to do electronic forms, a lot of people
That's
aren't
good.
comfortable carrying a lot of
Yeah.
cash. But yes, checkbooks, bring checkbooks. It's easy. There's no fee. We trust you. We know you're not going to rip us off.
Yeah.
I've never been ripped off by an RVer with a check
Yeah.
in 3.5 years, and I don't foresee it happening. Hopefully not. But yes, bring a checkbook and don't expect to sleep in, especially like when you get here,
yeah.
it's bam, 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 bam. And honestly, that is the downfall of Happy Host is when you get here, you're going to be busy. You're going.
You booked a solid for a
Listen.
week. We don't have a break for this week.
You don't have breathing room.
No.
And sometimes I do schedule a little bit more in case something runs over or something.
Yeah.
But my goal is to help save your time.
Yeah.
And so when you send me your list, I look at that list and say, how can I get them in and out of Red Bay efficiently?
So if somebody wants a little more relaxed visit, one vendor a
yeah.
day,
Yeah,
they
we
just
can
need to
do
make
that.
they need to make that known.
We can handle that. But as far as, you know, you're going to probably have to wake up early every morning. You know, every once in a while you have a mobile tech
Got to
come
wake up
out
at
to
6
you.
so you can be there in Bay Diesel by 7.
Yes, but you know, Tiffin just changed their hours to starting at 6 a.m.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So they have to be in the bays at 6 a.m.
So if I go to Express Bay, I'm going to have
You're
to
going
get
to
up
be
at
there
5?
at 6 a.m. if you get called in early in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
You have to be there at 6.
Well, it's about 5:40 in the morning. Tiffin Service has decided to have its bays open at 6 a.m., which means we've got to get up at 5 o'clock to get in the bay by 6 so that we can have service done in the Express Bay at Tiffin Service Center. Oh well, we don't have to do this every day, so we'll do it one day for this. We've got 3 things we want them to look at. Our HWH Jackson slides. We had a fault on one of our Schwintek slide controllers. And there's also an awning over our door that's bent a little bit. So we'll have them look at that. We'll see how we do.
So we went there last year right at January 1st. This year between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we found that between Thanksgiving, December, January, February, those seem to be slow months because fall, snowbirds head south.
Who wants to go there for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
That's true. No,
I mean, seriously.
we did.
It's because we don't have any family around
Oh, okay.
right now.
But that works for us.
Yeah,
It works for us.
like I said, it's whatever works for you.
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah. But you got to remember too that it can be chilly down there.
Yeah. Got it below freezing a few times.
And we had to look for where the shelters were while we were there because of
A couple of storms came through with
tornado.
possible tornadoes. October, November can be really busy because that's the fall migration of all the snowbirds south. And then April, May, the spring migration of the snowbirds going north. And that's the other time that it really gets busy.
I look at it this way. If you're going to Red Bay, you just assume that you're going to be there for a week at least, if not longer, depending on what you're having done, the extent to your work.
Very much. If you're there in the busy time, it could be 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Most people will be booking out 3-4 months before they go down there as well.
Tiffin only does service on Tiffins, but the third-party vendors will do service on non-Tiffins. Yep, absolutely. Tiffin only does service on Tiffins, but you can get your Integra, your Newmar, your travel trailer. There were actually a few fifth wheels there.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about scheduling because Tiffin is only first come, first serve. So you can't book Tiffin service ahead of time. You have to wait until you get there.
Right.
And then you go register with the service department. They'll put you on a list. We were able to get in within a few days, but we were in what's called the Express Bay. If we were going to go into the full bay needing more than 3 or 4 hours of work, which is when you go into the full bay, that could have taken a couple of weeks. A week to 2 weeks is
That's what they
it
said,
was.
yeah.
And in the busy time, that could take 2 to 3 weeks. Now, Tiffin does allow you to drop your rig off at Tiffin, and then you can, when it gets serviced, come back and pick it up. I think there was one campground that allowed you to do that, but Tiffin also has a campground, but one of the problems with the Tiffin campground, they don't let third-party vendors come in there. So if you can have other people work on your rig, you probably want to be at one of the other campgrounds. But Tiffin service has an express bay. It's 3 hours, 2 people. If they can't get what's on your list, you've got to go back out, and you can't come back into the express bay for another 3 months, I think it is. But
I didn't know that.
if you get into the full bay, they'll complete whatever it is. It just takes longer to get into that full bay. Campgrounds. We stayed both times at Red Bay Acres, and we like it. It is, I think, the only real full-time, full-service campground that has concrete parking pads. It has a lounge you can stay in during the day.
With a small restaurant.
Small restaurant. Pets can go into the lounge.
Area. Yeah, the lounge area.
So we really like
But
Red Bay
again,
Acres.
they don't open until 8 in the morning.
Yeah,
So
true.
if you've dropped your rig off at 6, you've got 2 hours.
Yeah.
You have to do something.
The other thing about Red Bay Acres was we kept changing the dates that we were going to leave, and no problem, just extend it, and that was very easy for us to do there. I know all the other campgrounds do that too.
The time of year
Yeah.
made that conducive, because I don't think you could go there in the spring and, you know, with people book it.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, the slow times, it's easy to do that.
Yeah.
They'll work with you. And
I've heard that you can always find a campground site.
There are so many campgrounds in Red Bay.
A lot of the other
depending on what
campgrounds
you
are more
want.
self-serve. They don't even have
They
somebody
are
at the office.
self-serve, yeah.
You go in, you find a spot, you register it, and then you
Pay in a box.
pay in a
outside
box. Yeah. It's a gravel parking lot, but it does have full service. It's got sewer, water, electric. And then there's the Tiffin campground. Tiffin's actually changed their rules. Used to, if you were older than a year, you couldn't be there. Then if you were older than 10 years, you couldn't be there. Now, I think they are accepting it a lot more. So for somebody new that had never come to Red Bay, wanted to schedule stuff here, I know there's a lot of Facebook groups, and that's kind of where I started.
Yeah.
So what are some of the more popular ones? And
The most popular one that I would say is probably Tiffin Red Bay Roll Call.
oh, really?
And
Okay. That's the last one I got hold of. But
So that's the most popular one for Red Bay specifically.
Yeah.
Now there are other motorhome groups.
we're part of an open road Tiffin group.
And so those are great groups.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking more of just what talks about Red Bay. Like those are general RV groups, which are great. But these, like literally Tiffin Red Bay Roll Call is all about Red Bay. I mean, it's who'd you get, like lots of reviews, which is really helpful for people who come to get on there. And you can type in, like, for example, I'll use our business, Fowler Detailing, and it'll pull you up all sorts of reviews from other people. And so you'll be able to yourself go through and see, oh, wow, a lot of people have been happy with their services, whichever vendor you choose. Another one specific to Red Bay is Red Bay Spotlight.
Oh, okay.
It's another really good one. And that one actually spotlights vendors, and it teaches you about the vendors. It'll, you know, for instance, she asked me about my family and did a little write-up on how many children I had, and she kind of did that for every vendor, how they started, and that was really, really neat. So that's more geared toward Red Bay and Belmont. And then the other groups, like Tiffin Motorhome Owners Group, there's many out there, all the different kinds, like Open Roads, Phaeton's have a group, Zephyrs
There's a technical,
group.
Tiffin technical forum that we're part of. That
Yep,
I really
and
like.
then like RV Mods and Upgrades, there's another group there, which is really cool, by the way. You should check it out. There's lots of little upgrades that people have done that are neat. So yeah, there's lots of places on Facebook that you can go. But
what are the services of Fowler Detailing, including the ceramic coating? Just so that I can add that if need be.
So we offer pretty much anything from your basic wash and maintenance to all the way up to nano ceramic coating and roof coatings. So basically the reason I do that is because I know that some people all have different levels of how they want to care for the outside maintenance part. Some are, you know, it doesn't really matter as much to me, and that's great. We'll wash your RV if you want, or if you've recently had it waxed or whatever the case may be. But then we kind of gradually go up, and we can, you know, wash your rims, clean them. And then, you know, we have a polish, a $15 polish that Tiffin recommends, and it protects it and it makes it shiny, but it doesn't remove damage. So, you know, we have a lot of people who say, I know I've got damage, but let's just do that. And then we go up to like rim restoration. That's more expensive. That's $50 a rim, but it makes them look really, really pretty. And so, you know, it's for the people who care more about their rims. And I try to gear our detailing business especially to each stage that people like. If you want it just washed, we'll do that. If you want us to spend extreme detail and really protect that thing, we'll do nano ceramic coating. And
or the buffing, because we, you know, ours was like 7 years old. We had scratches, not deep scratches, but
enough. So we usually buff every single day. We have all sorts of people who come in and say, I really hate those tree limb scratches, and they don't even know that they will come out. They will come out. It does cost extra money and it is hard work, but they will come out and look brand new, and you'll never know that those trees jumped out at you, because we all know that nobody drives into trees. They jump out. So, and we understand that here at Fowler Detailing.
Any other suggestions you would have for people who are just looking to come to Red Bay? Or?
So probably one of my biggest suggestions and misunderstandings that people have, and we touched a little bit on this, of people coming and not being aware of things. It's really good to pre-plan. And when I say pre-plan, I don't mean a couple weeks. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm
some of these are booking months out.
So to give you examples, some of the higher up vendors, what I call higher up, the most popular vendors, are already booking into like February, March, April. And so either way, I take care of people when they call. But if you have a preferred vendor that you know is at the top, for instance, like that woodworking or that upholstery, those bigger, slower items that take time, you need to plan months in advance. And that's a big misunderstanding that people have. And I am happy to help the one who says I'm coming next week as much as I can. But just know that there are times that when we're busy, I'm limited to what I can do.
And sometimes if people, especially if you can get a part, whether it's a fridge or whatever, make sure that you have that ahead of time before you come on site.
Things that I had down, don't rush. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. There are things that you can get out and enjoy. You can do day trips from there. We went to Tupelo, the Natchez Trace. I've seen other people go to different places. But just enjoy the time there. The second thing, learn from the vendors that work on your rigs. Now, Tiffin is kind of interesting. They don't want you to stay in the rig anymore. A couple of years ago, they let you do that.
They won't even let you in the
They don't want you in the building when they're working on it. They let you do that. But when you come back, the technician will go through everything.
They'll take you around and go through it. But they do not want you hovering over them. And in particular, they will not allow video or still photography.
More videos or cameras inside anymore.
There's so many notices.
Last year I was able to do it. This year I wasn't able to do it. But all the third-party vendors, they're more than open.
They don't mind. Just ask, and they've always have said yes.
You got to watch yourself, because you might end up talking to the technician and you're going to end up paying an hour just him talking to you. But the rate's not bad. But you'll gain an awful lot of information and knowledge about your rig. We've been able to work on a lot of things because of things we've learned. Make contacts. We now have contacts that we can go back to for future visits. April's a great resource. She can start to get you those contacts, but after you're there a few, 2, 3, 4 years, you're going to start making your own
you're
contacts.
Going to start to get to know people, and you'll use sometimes use the same people every time you come down. So they become an extended family when you go down there.
And I think the last thing I would say is meet your neighbors. A lot of Tiffin owners absolutely happy to share their life's experiences, their experiences with the rigs. We got to talking to a lot of people at breakfast, in the campground. It was great. So, hope this helps you planning your next visit to Red Bay, or maybe your first visit to Red Bay. As Phoebe and Mars always say,
keep smiling
and be kind. Safe travels, everybody.